Hi, I'm Janie, and I want to welcome you back to my channel, Upcycle Creations. My first video had such a wonderful, warm, encouraging response that I wanted to follow it up with what I do in place of violin now. This is one of the things, is slow stitching. I like it because it's easy, there's no pattern, you don't have to go out and buy a lot of materials. So today we're going to do a little what we call snippet, which is just a little bit of something that you can use. I use mine as appliques on other things or embellishments on another project you might have. As an example of my slow stitching, this is my bunny rabbit. And this I call him King Bunny because he is a bunny rabbit with an attitude. He's just a regular pattern rabbit, but I got carried away and started putting all sorts of stuff on him. He just has little little lace flowers. His ears have got embellishments all over it. Here is some lace with some little pearls sewn in. Back here he has even a butterfly and just extra stitches. Here's some colorful the selvage on the material that I liked. And he has just different laces all around. That took me weeks to do. And right now I'm making this is going to be a clutch purse. And this is the first part of it, which is almost done. I might add some more stuff to it. And then this is what I'm working on. I just have the basics on there so far. Just laid down my fabric and started putting things over it. And these will go through. So today we're just going to do a little piece that's going to be about 5 or 6 inches long and maybe 3 inches wide. One thing I like about slow stitching is that it takes very little material. In fact, the only thing you might possibly have to go out and buy would be some embroidery thread and a needle with the eye big enough for embroidery thread. The other needle you'll need is just a little sharp and whatever thread you have for basting. I am a big baster. So you're going to need these. You're going to need scissors and the pins, of course. And then you're going to need a base for your slow stitching. And this is just part of a pillowcase that I ripped. It's about 4 inches wide and a little over a foot long. Make it whatever you want. When I do something like this and fill up the whole thing, then I might cut little bits of it off after I'm done and use it for appliques or anything else. So what I like to do, I've already ironed this. I don't like working with wrinkledy material, so I'll do something like, get the part off that's just too small to work with, and then hit it with the iron a bit, and see what I have here. This was a shirt that had some embroidery on it, and I wanted to make sure and use that embroidery because I really like it. So I've got this, and I'm so sorry I'm getting down to the last of these 2 red pieces. You don't have to worry about the edges unless they're going to really just ravel apart. That's the other nice thing, is you can cover them up with some lace. You can leave them to ravel a little bit. That just adds character to it. So here we are with pretty good stuff. Now I've got another little piece of this blue. So, and these are really, really the small pieces. This is a great big scrap buster thing. So I'll just cut a little of that off. And then we come back in. This piece to me is just a little big. So I'm going to just do that. And what you want to do is just gather up a bunch of stuff and just start putting it on there however you want to. And just cover the whole piece of material. Once you decide how, that you like where you have something, and just put that across there. You can put some big pieces in, and doesn't have to be, it can overlap a little bit. So I'm going to come back after I get all of this done and just pieced on there, and then we'll see what we have after that. Okay, I'm back, and I took the original piece of fabric, is right here. I just cut a bunch of little pieces and put them on there. And as you can see here, I am just pinning them on right now, and then I'll baste them. But you can also use a glue stick, and all you do is just lay it down. I lay it down on something that you can get some glue on and it won't hurt, but I'm out of camera right now. But just take that and it just goes right on there like that, and you can do that. So sometimes you know, depending on what you want to do. Now make sure you don't run that through a sewing machine or anything while it's wet. Once it's dry, it's not going to hurt anything. So I'm just pinning this, and then I like to do a lot of basting. So I'm going to come back after I get this pinned. I will come back and just use good long stitches and get this whole thing attached down. And did I mention to you, I don't think I did, this is my first tutorial, so bear with me and we will have this so that you can do it. There is absolutely no rhyme or reason to putting the cloth down here. You just cut it, overlap it with, you know, this one or that one. The only thing I want to make sure that you do is make sure that it's really overlapped. You're going to find some that maybe you didn't quite get overlapped enough. Don't worry about it. You just come back and put a little piece of ribbon or a little piece of lace there, and keep, you know, that you can keep it down like that. But just come through here and make sure you've got everything attached. And like I just messed up everything up here. Okay, I had a little glitch with my setup, but I'm back now. So anyway, make sure that you are overlapped enough that it covers the material underneath. But if you have occasionally you won't, and just you can just, as you're putting all your embellishments on, you can cover up that space. And I think, as I was saying, this is my first tutorial, so it's probably going to be a little rough, but please bear with me. Let me know if you're actually going along with me on this. I hope you are. You can hear my dog out there saying hello to everybody. And up here, when I had my little glitch, everything came off. That's not a problem. You just take it and put it back on one way or another. Yeah, I like it that way. Okay, so we'll get that pinned on. Now, that's the last of that. Now, this is a great place. A lot of times, you know, I've got thread that really isn't good enough to use on anything much, so I save it for basting, and that's a good thing to use up old thread with. So now we've got all of this done, as you can see, from one end to the other, and all I'm going to do is, let me get this, dog's driving me crazy. Get this. A lot of times I just grabbed this thread, but a lot of times I'll use the most outlandish thread that I can find so that it's easy to see. As I take it out, I unbaste and pull the threads out as I go. So let's see if I can get this done really fast. Of course you can't. It never works. It never ever works when you want it to. I did it. Okay, now I only use one thread. I don't use two. So I do that and just I do put a knot in here because I don't want it to come out while I'm messing with it. So I'm going to tie that. And this, again, there's not much rhyme or reason to this. This is something you can do. I like to do this a lot of times sitting outside, you know, when it cools off. But I'm going to start this. Then I'm just going to come up from the bottom and just put some nice big stitches in, just to hold everything down until I can decide what I'm going to do next with it. So here we go. I just get this And this really doesn't take too long to do this part. So you can see those big stitches there. And so the whole thing will be done that way. Make sure I have everything down really well. And you begin to get a little more body to it too, because in several places you've got several thicknesses of thread. I'm just getting started with all of this, and y'all have been such a huge help. And I mean, it's a tough transition from playing violin several hours a day to suddenly you have all that much time, and you haven't had that since you were in middle school. So what do you do with it? And this is what I chose to do with it, because I've always enjoyed sewing. And there's so many good tutorials. I am going to link in this. There's a lady named Sarah Humphrey, and she's British, and she is so good with her tutorials, teaching different embroidery stitches that you can use with this. We're going to use the most basic ones, but as you begin to get better at it, you want something different. You know, you don't want to use the same stitch over and over again. So you can, what I do is I look at it and I think, oh, that's an edge. I need a really pretty edge stitch. So I'll go to Sarah Humphrey's channel and see what she's teaching as far as a stitch for an edge goes that's decorative, or just if I want to put a flower, she's got bunches of those, and she is such a wonderful teacher. So by all means, look for the link to her page. And the other thing is, look for the link to my my web page. There you'll find all the things, and yes, they are for sale in my online shop. And like I say, I mean, it's only a week or two old, so I'm learning all this stuff now, and it is fun. But I'm gonna cut this off again, and I'm gonna get all of this done. You can see it's just big old stitches, nothing to it, and then I'll be back when I get that done. See you later. Hi, I'm back, and I have all the pins out, and you can see the stitches are, you know, ½ inch, big, a little bigger, and everything is down nice and securely. Now this is a good place to stop for today. So, and go back and review everything and get caught up with me here. But let's review. First, we had a piece of anything that doesn't stretch will work. Cotton blend, an old blouse, anything like that. Then go through your scraps and just pick out stuff and put it on there. Use a little glue or pins, get it all down there, and then get it basted securely. Now, if you want to get into doing this, let your friends know that you're going to be upcycling, and if they have any scraps, old clothes, and on old clothes, a lot of times there's trim that you can use, which is what we're going to get into next. So, please visit my website, which is upcycle-creations.com, and you can see some of the things. I am adding things every day. It's a brand new site. Subscribe to this site and come back for part 2. I'm going to get this one edited and on, and then I'll start working on part 2, which is the fun part of putting in the embellishments and getting as creative as you want. So thank you so much for watching this, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next one, and everything I used will be listed in the bottom of my description. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.